So a lot of times we just get to places where we're asking ourselves, what is next? We've had this progression of things that we've done, and we've come to a place where we know we're not quite where we feel we need to be, but we don't know the next steps. We're going to talk about two ways to address that today. The first thing is to take an inventory of yourself. An inventory of the place where you want to be. And this is easier than you think because we're thinking about this all the time. There's this vision we have in our mind when we're in places of rest of an ideal life for ourselves. And we paint such a vivid picture in our mind. That's how powerful our imagination is. We sit and we think, well, here's the person that I am. Here's the life that I'm living. Here's the house I'm in, the car I drive, the job I have, the relationships I have with my friends and families. We create this amazingly vivid detail in our mind of this place that looks like our ideal place. And the amazing part about that is it's a starting point for us to reflect on the qualities of that person. What characteristics does that person that lives in this ideal life that we envision embody? And we intuitively know, because we know ourselves so well, and this is an internal reflection of our ideal self, we intuitively know the areas that we would need to improve upon to become that person. So think about things like, well, I'm a better speaker and communicator in general. I do these things in my job really well that I didn't historically do. I have these type of relationships with my family or friends because I have improved my emotional quality and skills in these certain areas to this. I'm in better shape. I'm more healthy. I mean, the list goes on, right? But typically, as we think about this place where we would want to be, we can envision what we would consider to be things that we don't have now that this person has. So how do we address that? Well, as we think about step number 2, which is working off of this vision, it's to be super honest with ourselves, right? Look at me like, are we being honest with ourselves? Are we being reflective and acting on these things that we know we need to do? We're all friends here, right? This is an honest conversation. So we have to have this honest conversation with ourselves. And this is why it's great to have friends who are really honest with you. Sidebar, having friends that are super honest with you about knowing your potential is amazing, right? So anyway, back to the story. So we have to reflect on these things, be really truthful and honest with ourselves. And because the steps headed in this direction that we have not addressed yet are unknown to us and unfamiliar territory, we're going to have some reservations about doing it, right? Again, straight honesty. We're not good at these things, or there's a place we want to improve. So the natural reaction to taking a step in this place for us is uncertainty and discomfort and fear. And we're feeling that before we even take the steps to do it, right? And our mind is saying, well, when I take the steps to do it, it's going to be even worse. But we have to take very measured steps in the right direction. We have to step back and recognize these fears and uncertainties for what they are, and as a barrier between us and that vision of ourselves. And then we say to ourselves, I've got this barrier. And I'm going to take small steps. I don't need to solve everything today or tomorrow, but I'm going to take small steps. Let's just use health and fitness as an example. I'm going to take small steps, and I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and I'm going to put it on my schedule as something consistently that I do, and I'm going to maintain the consistency with that. And a big part of that is taking daily reflection on this vision that you have for yourself, right? And then taking a daily accountability for the steps that you've taken towards it. Now, as we think about this, it's a lot in our mind. It's a lot to think about. I've got all these things I need to work on to get to this place of our higher self. But the beautiful, amazing part about that is we don't need to do it all right now. It's like the 1% better a day rule that you hear people say. It's really true. I mean, I'm just going to like knock off 1% a day, and you're going to get that little feeling internally like, I took a little bit of risk. I followed through on addressing this part of me that is this greater version, this life that I want to have, and I feel really good about it. And then the risk the next day doesn't feel quite as much. And you stack the wins and your confidence starts going, right? And before too long, if you maintain this consistency and you're reviewing this vision in your mind and you're saying, being accountable for these steps you've taken, before long, you've knocked off a few things off of this ideal picture in your head. And you know what? You start becoming that person in your head. You literally start becoming that person. And that list of things just moves and melds and you just become better over time. So this is what we do. It's two things. The friendly, we're being honest with each other, assessment about where we actually are. And then it's taken these steps, these small incremental steps to have this 1% improvement. I believe in you. You can do this, and I know this works. So let's do these two things and push it forward.